This frame sucks! My original plan was to wear this t-shirt through the entirety of this video, but it's winter and it's bloody cold, so costume change! A year ago, I didn't know what Nashville, Tennessee was. I mean, I knew about it. I knew it existed. I knew there was a place which was like the home of country music and that place was Nashville, Tennessee. But like I didn't really give a damn. But as we sit here today, Nashville, Tennessee has turned out to be the highlight of my 2017. And I want to talk about it. The reason I want to film this video is because I forgot my diary, and at the moment all the memories and the experience and stuff, it's all fresh in my mind. And I want to have it all down before I forget about it, because once I get back to the Philippines, it'll be gone. It won't be as fresh, for lack of more creative word.
You want me to thesaurus fresh?
No, it's fine. Earlier this year, in the spring, my dad and I went to the US, and then we went to Memphis, Tennessee. In Memphis, we did a whole bunch of Memphis-y things, like go to some museums and go to Graceland and so on. And all of that was it was aight. But there was one day which was especially fun, because the day started with my dad dropping his toothbrush in the toilet. And Schadenfreude is die beste Freude, which is German for the joy you feel because someone else is suffering is the best kind of joy. And there's a whole bunch of stuff but no toothbrushes. And now he still to this day uses a toothbrush that says Elvis Presley on it, because that was the only toothbrush he could find. Side note, my dad didn't used to like Elvis until we went to Memphis. Even more distressing is the fact that my dad didn't like Johnny Cash until...
How is that more distressing?
Okay, my sister really likes Elvis, I really like Johnny Cash.
Elvis Presley is king.
We went to Beale Street, which is this main street thing, and there's a lot of bars with live music. The first bar we went into, it was really funny. They asked my dad for an ID. My dad's an old man with gray hair and a beard. He does not look under 21, but they wouldn't sell him beer without an ID. We went to the next bar, in which they sold me a beer without an ID. I look much younger than my gray-haired father, so that was a good giggle. Then we decided to move on to another bar, because my dad was very particular about what kind of band he wanted to see. He wanted to see a black jazz band. Anyway, we went into this bar because there was this live band, and they were a live black jazz band. So we went all the way to the front because there was a table free. So my dad and I were sitting right by the stage. Unfortunately, the jazz band only played 3 songs and then informed us that they were done and that this other band was going to be coming on anytime soon. So we're like, okay, we'll see what this is. That's a shame. And these dudes come on stage setting up their equipment, and they're very clearly not black. And my dad's like, we'll just stick in here for a couple of songs, see how it goes, maybe it's gonna be awesome. Spoilers, it was awesome. So these guys come on stage, and all of them have tattoos. One of them had tattoos on his fingers, all down his arms and on his fingers. And I remember telling my dad that his tattoos were cool. He turned out to be the drummer. My dad disagreed. My dad doesn't like tattoos, but whatever, we agreed to disagree. And then they started singing, and it was amazing. It was just, what an experience. We decided to stay for their entire set. At one point, the lead singer said that they were going to be playing Johnny Cash. And so I was like, woo, Johnny Cash! And he's like, what Johnny Cash song do you want us to play? And I turned to my dad and I was like, I hope they play Ring of Fire. And then they played Ring of Fire! And it was great! Anyway, the band's name turned out to be Hillbilly Casino. And they took a break at one point, and we decided to go get t-shirts because one of the t-shirts had a skull on the back, and it was really cool. And both my dad and I wanted the skull shirt. So we went up and we decided to buy t-shirts. The band themselves were selling their merchandise. So we got the merchandise from the lead singer of the band of Hillbilly Casino, and we shook his hand and everything and talked to him. There was a quick exchange, and we bought the shirts, and they didn't have my size, obviously, so I got a large or something. But it's one of my favorite shirts and I wear it all the time.
Where's my Tyler Bryant shirt?
It's there.
Oh.
Another part of the night which I found particularly fun was I went to the bathroom. I was wearing like this bandana in my hair and I went to the bathroom. So I'm walking past there and this dude working there is like, nice scarf, can I have it? And I was really confused, a little tipsy, and I was like, huh? And it turned out he meant my bandana. So when I came out of the bathroom, because I was a little tipsy, I'm like, you want it? And then I gave a chef in Memphis, Tennessee, my bandana. And he asked me to put it on his head because he couldn't use his hands because chef. So that was pretty cool. There's some random dude out there who has my handkerchief. They played some of their original music, and one of the songs that they played was 80085. Boobs. Yeah, 80085. And I told my dad that I wrote down the title and told him I was gonna buy it on iTunes, and he's like, why would you buy it on iTunes? So we bought the CD from them right there. I listened to that CD quite often. And for about a month after we came back from the US, every time we got in the car, we would just play Hillbilly Casino. It was just a good time. And the point of this story is that they're from Nashville, Tennessee, which is like my first ever connection to Nashville, Tennessee. Before that, it was just some place in the US. The US is big, you know how many places there are in the US? So that was one of my personal favorite nights of 2017. So there's one reason why Nashville, Tennessee turned out to be a highlight in my 2017. Moving on to the other reason. 2 days ago, by the time this video is up, it's not gonna be 2 days because let's be real, it's gonna take me a while to edit and all that stuff. Myself and my sister and Alfonso, my sister's boyfriend, and 2 of his friends from school, who also happen to be my friends from school and my sister's friends from school, and 2 of his current flatmates went to see a concert. And that concert was Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown, from which I got the shirt I was wearing earlier with Tyler Bryant's signature. My sister got a shirt too, and hers actually has all the band signatures because she is ballsier than me. And the concert was in Utrecht. I hope I'm saying that right. Personally, I just loved the venue. It was this small hall. It wasn't, yeah, I think that's fair to say. It wasn't so small that I would call it a room. Maybe it was either a large room or a small hall. And then there was the stage, and there was 2 opening acts. And we got there. Getting there was a bit of a challenge. We couldn't find the bus that we were supposed to take after getting off on the train station. So we ended up walking around in the cold for ages, and my toes were completely numb by the time we got to the venue. It was so cold. It was 3 degrees. But then we got to the venue and we got some beers and we went and saw the first act, and there was this dude with like great hair was the lead singer. So that was fun to watch, and they made great music too. The hair was like the main reason why that band was great, and their music was then just like a bonus. The band left and they reset the stage for the next band, and we were pretty close to the front. I would say there was like one or 2 people in front of us. So we were very close, and my sister and I contemplated staying there so that we had great spots for when Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown got on. But my sister's boyfriend convinced us that it would be more fun to go outside, have a beer. So we did that, and I think that was a good choice. Then the next band came on, and they were so good. But the space was starting to fill up. We were still pretty close to the front, but we were more to the side, not so much in the center. We were like right next to the speakers. The band was like good enough for it not to matter where we were. I think the band's name is RUV, but they were pretty great.
Okay, I left it in there for 2 thingies, so they're kind of a bit grilled.
That's fine. What was the second band called?
Which there was the Muff and the RUV.
So my sister, being the wonderful human being that she is, not only just made us dinner, but she also told me that the first band was called The Muff and the second band is RUV. And then after RUV, we left for a bit to get like beers and so on once again. And by the time we got back, it was more full, but we could still get our place by like the speakers, and my sister was right up against the stage. Like if she had wanted to, she could have climbed onto the stage and attacked the band members. She's not a psycho, so she didn't, but she could have if she wanted to.
Considered.
Huh?
I considered it.
Oh, this just in, she considered climbing on the stage and attacking them like a psycho. But she didn't. Because it was right next to the speakers and because my ears are my livelihood, I did end up moving. But not too far. I just ended up moving a little more towards the middle. But I didn't want to go like further towards the middle because it got more full, and like the spot I found was perfect. I could see Tyler Bryant and I could see the guitarist. I couldn't see the drummer, which is unfortunate because from what I hear from my sister, who was right up against the stage, the drummer was pretty cool. So sad that I couldn't see him. This would be a much better video if my sister's boyfriend were here because he knows all their names. It would be so much more specific. I should mention, it was my sister's boyfriend who discovered them while they were at the Guns N' Roses concert in Paris.
Before.
Oh, he discovered them before?
Yeah.
Okay, he discovered them before, and then they happened to open for Guns N' Roses in Paris. And then he made everyone he knew collectively buy tickets, and then we went and saw them, and it was worth it, and I will never stop being grateful. About one song in, I realized that it was gonna be a good evening, and they did not disappoint. I was just like, yes, the music's amazing, this is great. And the way their stage presence was just fantastic. They were all so lively and they seemed so happy to be there. It's all about stage presence, kids. Anyway, the main thingy, we're gonna go with the word thingy. The main thingy of this video was Nashville, Tennessee. So, in case you haven't guessed already, Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown are from Nashville, Tennessee. And when they stated that, they're like, Tyler Bryant was like, we're Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown from Nashville, Tennessee. And I was just like, that's so cool. Hillbilly Casino was from Nashville, Tennessee. And that was like, up until 2 days ago, that was like my best evening in 2017. And then this turned out to be either very close second or tied for best evening. I'm gonna go ahead and say tied. So yeah, they played and it was fantastic. And everyone had a lot of fun. And unfortunately, it had to end. The concert had to end because concerts end. I think, wasn't Alfonso the first person to scream something for the encore?
He just screamed, more!
That's true.
And I was like, babe, it's called encore. Because I was like really quietly like, encore! And Alfonso went, more! And I was like, no, that's not what I said.
Yeah, so that happened. They left, and then my sister's boyfriend screamed, more! Just he was the first person to yell anything. And then Martina, one of his housemates, flatmates, she was like, I want more. And then like the guy next to her screamed, I want more! And we like joked about how funny it would have been if he would have screamed, she wants more! They came, there was an encore. I should mention this.
Tribute.
Huh?
They played a Tom Petty tribute.
They did. They played a Tom Petty tribute, which was very sweet of them. That was like the first encore.
The drummer made eye contact with me, and for quite a short period of time, you know, when he was walking around the stage, like holding the drumsticks, he was just like looking into the crowd, and he was like standing in the very corner, right? And then he looked straight at me, and I was like looking him dead in the eye, like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And I thought he was like gonna smile at me or something, but he just turned away. And I was like, rude! I was smiling at you!
Sophie, the other one of my sister's boyfriend's flatmates, actually got the pick when they threw it into the crowd. We went outside to buy the shirts because we knew we wanted to buy shirts. So we were standing in line, and just after my sister and I paid, like right after we paid, we were still standing at like the booth thing. The band came out and they were on the other side and everyone was like crowding them, and then Tyler Bryant looked at my sister and her boyfriend and was like, no, I want to go over where they are.
To those guys.
So he went over, and so my sister was the first person to talk to him and like get a signature on her shirt. And then someone else came and he signed their stuff, and then it was my turn, and Kata, she told him we saw you in Paris. And he was like, oh, Guns N' Roses? And she's like, yeah, Guns N' Roses. And I guess we looked the same or something, because then he asked me, like, you saw me at the Guns N' Roses concert. And I was like, no, but my sister and her boyfriend did. And then he mentioned, actually, while he was still signing Kata's stuff, he's like, we're gonna play in Paris tomorrow. And then I was like, oh, you wanna go to Paris tomorrow? And Kata's like, sure. Alfonso, my sister's boyfriend, got a picture with him. And then Kata and Alfonso went off to get their stuff signed by the rest of the band. Kata was in shock, so wasn't as expressive with the rest of the band, but she did get all their signatures and they're on her shirt now, and now we're both realizing that maybe shirts are not the best thing to sign, so we're trying to like find out how to make it more permanent. The train after midnight only goes every 2 hours, so we were trying desperately to catch the last train so we wouldn't have to wait there for 2 hours, and we got out of the bus and ran through the train station, and then we got lucky and managed to catch the last metro. Then that was the evening. It ended with me getting a migraine because I got too excited. Did I see more than 2 bands this year? Nope, I saw 2 bands this year, both of them from Nashville, Tennessee, and both of them blew my mind, and both of them are tied for the best evening in 2017 for me. So, this is a really roundabout way of saying that I hate sauerkraut. I'm kidding. It's a really roundabout way of saying that Nashville, Tennessee became the highlight of my 2017 when like a year ago I couldn't give less of a fuck about it. Tyler Bryant went to the edge of the stage, like the edge where my sister was at. So she could have reached up and grabbed him if she wanted to.
His feet were right in my face.
His feet were right in her face.
That's how I know he was wearing snake boots.
That's how she knows he was wearing snake boots.